Max Verstappen won the 2023 Japanese Grand Prix. In this video, we're going to look at the mindset behind how he did it. My name is Bryce and I'm a mental performance coach who coaches athletes how to develop a winner's mindset. To break this down, I watched every video of Max Verstappen after the race, and here's what I found.
Let's go, guys! Another win! You deserve that. What an unbelievable season we are having. You can all be very proud. Here at the track, back at the factory. Everyone, unbelievable.
Immediately after the race, while he was still in the car, he congratulates the team and gives credit not only to the people that were on the track with him, but even the people back at the factory who built the car. That shows a huge amount of humility and understanding that he was victorious not because of himself, but because of his team working together.
And basically from there onwards, I could just focus on my own pace.
In Formula One, there are so many distractions, from the crowd, to the course, to the 200-mile-per-hour race car beside you. But Max says he was focused only on one thing, his pace. In other words, what was in his control. If he focused on his competitors, the crowd, or how pretty the scenery was, everything that's out of his control, that would have distracted him and hindered his performance. But since he was able to block out the noise and only focus on himself and what he needed to do, he was able to execute to the best of his ability.
In a few years' time, you look back at it and it probably brings a smile on your face again, just to remember what you have achieved as a team.
This is the difficulty of a high performer. To perform your best in the moment, you can't really get caught up in the occasion and understand the magnitude of what you're doing, because all that is a distraction from your performance. If you thought about how significant this competition is, you might get extra nervous or do things that you wouldn't normally do. That's why you have to treat every competition, even if it's the biggest competition of your sport, as just another competition. And by doing this, you'll be relaxed enough to perform. But Max was able to do one thing, and that's keep perspective. He understood that while he might not fully be able to enjoy it now, a few years down the line, he'll look back at this moment and be really appreciative of what he just did. And this helps him understand the history and impact of what he's doing.
He said before the race, 30 seconds. It was only 19.3 the lead today.
I know. I said on the in-lap of Singapore, 20 seconds.
Did you?
Yeah, so I was 7/10 short. I should have pushed a bit more in the middle stint.
Apparently he predicted before the race that he'd lead by 20 seconds, and he led by 19.3. Of course, he didn't get it exactly, he's not a fortune teller, but this is the importance of setting clear and specific goals. If you go into competition with a vague goal, like saying you just want to win, you won't really know what you need to do to make that happen. But if you say you want to win by this many points, or keep your opponent to only this amount of points, these clear and specific objectives will guide your performance. Whether you need to be more offensive or defensive, whether you need to take more risks or play it safe. For example, in this case, by him saying that he wanted to lead by 20 seconds, he probably raced a more offensive attacking race and took more risks to give himself a bigger lead. And by doing this, he was only 7/10 off his goal, which, as the quote goes, if you shoot for the moon, you might not hit it, but you'll land among the stars.
I just try to do the best I can every single weekend, and if I can leave happy and tell myself that I extracted everything out of it, that's the most important to me.
Although he wants to win, his main objective each race is to do his best and leave the race with the understanding that he gave his all. Because doing your best and giving your all is in your control. An important distinction to make is while you might want to win, that shouldn't be your primary focus in the moment, because winning is ultimately out of your hands. You don't know what your opponents will do, what the conditions might be like, or if some unfortunate circumstance happens. That's why focusing on things like effort, communication, or just giving your best is more helpful, because these are things that are in your control. And guess what? If he focuses only on giving his absolute best, what do you think is going to happen? The winning will happen on its own, but only if you focus on what's in your control first.
Honestly, we had a bad weekend. Of course, then people start talking about, it's all because of the technical directives. I think they can go suck on an egg.
After having a bad race the weekend prior, a lot of fans, spectators, and analysts were blaming the race director. And it would have been easy for Max to blame the race director as well. But instead, Max doesn't blame anyone and takes responsibility for the loss. He also tells them to suck an egg, which I don't know what that means. Can someone tell me if that's some sort of Dutch insult?
What's been the team's greatest strength this year?
I think just everyone knowing their role very well and being, of course, good at what they do.
Max says the team's greatest strength is everyone on the team knowing their role. This is a crucial part of teamwork. Everyone must know their role and be able to execute it well. Then each member of the team also has to trust the other members of the team to execute their role. That way they don't try to overcompensate. When each member of the team understands and fulfills their role, that's when you have a dangerous team. This was his interview after that shocking loss the previous weekend, and how he reacted plays a big role in why he won this Grand Prix.
I mean, at this point, it's more important that we just understand why it was so bad. That's for me way more important than trying to score a couple of points in this weekend.
After the loss, instead of complaining or just trying to forget the loss and act like it never happened. He spent his energy trying to figure out why they lost and what were the weaknesses that they had. By determining and getting clear about the mistakes that they made, they were able to fix them. And that was a major reason why they were able to win this race. So that's why I think he won. Why do you think he won?